Hi, my name is Dana and this is Crafting with Cats, and I'm going to show you how to make this wreath from scratch. Alright, so for this project I'm going to show you the things that you need to make this wreath. Basically it's a fall wreath that is more inspired by witches, Halloween. I have certain colors here that I'm using. I did everything at the Dollar Tree and only 3 things at 2 other stores. First of all, you start off with your wreath. This wreath was only $3 at Joann's. Second, I buy a ribbon that I'm going to make. I got this at Joann's as well, only a few dollars. Always use a coupon. Next, I'm going to be using house numbers to make the house numbers on the wreath this way, and all of this is going to go this way. Everything over here is from Dollar Tree, believe it or not. Everything's $1. All of this. Pumpkin, skull, witch hat, spider, cute little butterflies, and all of these pretty sparkly things. Last that you'll need will be your hot glue gun to hot glue it all together. And then if you want to do the numbers like I'm going to do, you're going to want to paint them. The first step in this project is making the bow. Bows always seem complicated, but they really aren't. One of the number one things that you need to know about making a bow is wire. If the bow has wire, it's going to be a lot easier to make. Also, another good trick is getting a pipe cleaner. And you could choose any color you want, but preferably a color that matches the type of bow that you're going to make. And scissors. So take the end of the roll and kind of roll it towards you, and then grab both ends, put one thumb in between it, and now this is where you have to, it gets a little tricky. You're gonna twist this and hold it with your thumb. And depending on how big you want your bow to be, I want my bow to be somewhat big. I don't want it to be small. You could make a really small bow like this, or you could make a longer one. All of the bows that I make have 5 loops. Here's the first loop. You want them to all be equal. Continue to hold your thumb on the part that you twisted. As you turn to the other side, you're going to twist again and hold with your thumb. It's a little tricky because it kind of gets caught. In order for your bow to look perfect, they need to match. You're going to pull your pieces together and make sure the length is exactly the same. And you're going to continue these steps until you have 5 on each side. Taking your fingers like this, you're going to twist with the sparkly side up. With your other hand here, you're going to hold it to make sure it's the same equal length. Taking your finger here and holding, your thumb is always here, holding there and twisting. Same thing, making sure it's equal length on both sides. And if you want, you could do a 3-loop bow. I think 5-loop looks a lot better. You'll see the end result. Same thing, keep this finger down here and twist. As you twist, you're holding it with your thumb. Bringing this piece out here, and again making sure they're about the same length. Take your pipe cleaner where your thumb is holding it, and you're going to go over and loop. Let go with your other fingers. When you pull it around to this side, this is what's going to keep the bow from coming apart. Tightly twist. And then you can always cut this to make it not visible. You don't want to cut it too short though. After this part, we still have to do one more thing of adding another piece. First, I'm going to show you how to fluff the bow. You want to pull your first piece down, this one in the middle, next piece up, and then to make them look poofy, you're going to kind of squish them a little bit. Like open them up, basically. And they're not gonna be perfect because you might, they might be different size, different lengths. So first piece gets pulled down. Next one gets pulled up. Just kind of tug on it because it has leeway. And then kind of pull it in between each other. Now that you have your bow poofed out, you still have your pipe cleaner here, which you're gonna use this. You have to decide how long you want the tail to be. On my wreath, I want my tail to hang down. So I'm going to take this part. I want to probably end it here. So this is where I'm gonna cut. Then I'm gonna add this piece to make my second tail. And it's okay if you cut it sloppy because you're gonna fix it in the end. Well, the reason it's not cutting well is because obviously there's wire in there. Okay. So that's how long I want that one. Then I want to match it up. I'm gonna match it like this. You want to give yourself a little extra because you need to loop it around the pipe cleaner. So I'm probably going to give myself that much extra and then I'm going to cut it. It can't hurt to have extra. Okay. You're going to take your bow, your extra piece, turn it around, open it up, make sure the sparkly side matches. Put it in between the pipe cleaner and same thing, just twist. And you have to do it at least 3 or 4 times so it doesn't come out. And that's it. Then when you take your bow, I like to do one tail longer than the other. I think it looks nice. You want to fold it down in the middle and you're gonna cut. Start at the end. When you open it, it looks like that. This one I want to be a lot shorter. So first I'm going to cut the end off to make it look different. And then again, fold it all the way down the middle, start at the very end, and cut a straight line up. Here you have the beginning of your project. Very simple to make a bow instead of buying it at the store for wasting money that you could easily do on your own. Now that you have your bow made, you're going to want to start off somewhere in the middle so you can work around with your eye. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner here and I'm just going to feed it into the twine. And you're going to feel behind, which can be a little difficult at times. You're gonna feel behind it and then grab it through. Same thing with the other piece. I try to loop it around it and I'm just kind of sticking my fingers in there to pull it through. Once you pull it through, then you're gonna loop it around each other. Because you don't want your bow coming off. And I'm just twisting. With pipe cleaners, it's awesome because all you have to do is twist. There's no glue involved. Turn it around, and now you have a starting point of where you want the focus of your eye to be on is your bow. Now that I have an idea of where I want everything to go, I'm gonna start cutting off the ends. I don't want them too short because then they won't stick in the wreath well, but I don't want them too long because then they're gonna stick out on all ends. So usually I cut about here, and it's a little tricky. It takes some time. You gotta kind of wiggle it, and you're gonna need these. And make sure you pick everything up. Like with my cats, they love when I make crafts, but I have to make sure that no wires are left on the ground. This is the time-consuming part, is trying to do that. So I'm gonna take off all the ends right now. Usually numbers can go for about $1 or $2. I picked the orange paint. Paint usually costs about $1, sometimes $2. Brush. Nice big glob. So the next part is gluing everything down. I have my glue gun nice and hot and ready. I have my extra glue sticks. You're gonna get a bag of sticks. They're usually only $1 or $2, sometimes I think maybe even $3. I'm gonna take off the big things because I have to wire them in. So the big things that are in the way, I'm gonna move. This is gonna be glued in, and I like it where it's at, so I'm gonna hold it, take my glue gun, and you probably should have something underneath this, that way you don't ruin your carpeting. I'm gonna just put the glue over it and around it enough that it's not gonna move, and I'm gonna hold it for 30 seconds. Okay, so the last steps are adding the big pieces that you can't glue down. You're gonna take some wire and you're gonna wire them in between on the wreath, and then the end part will be taking the numbers and gluing those on along this side. So I already cut my wire, and I'm just gonna try to find a place that is easy, and I got thin wire because it's not as visible. So I want it to stay here. And this gets a little tricky. So I'm gonna feed this in between, and you're gonna have to do this over and over again. It's thinner wire, so it's gonna need multiple times. And then crisscross it. Then you're gonna want to try not to break it off, but grab another piece and then crisscross it with that one, just to make it tighter. And then you take your nail clippers, cut it off, and push it down. Voila. I'm gonna repeat this same process with the last two big items that you cannot glue on. Take your wire, make sure it's long enough, and cut it. And you're gonna wanna figure out where you want it. Look at your item and see where you can put it to hide it. And this one's pretty simple. Anywhere, basically. Just feed it through it. With a bigger item, I'm gonna use a stronger wire because it's not gonna stay on with a thin one. And this is styrofoam, I can easily puncture it. So I already made a little bit of a hole, and I'm gonna kind of go down and see how it came out the other end. Just gonna push it. Now that the numbers are dried after painting them, the house numbers I'm going to put here. I'm gonna lay them at where I want to make sure that they're in the right spot, and then I'm gonna glue them down with the hot glue gun. So this is where it gets a little tricky. You gotta kind of figure out where you like the numbers, or they visually look right. These are the house numbers for this person's wreath. And then you have to hold it for at least 30 seconds. If you're not sure if you got the glue in the right areas, like over here, doesn't feel like I did, I'm gonna put some glue here. The last big piece I'm putting on is the spider. It's gonna go right here. You look so scary. I'm gonna take wire again and loop it around his little legs. So upon completion, this beautiful wreath only cost me $28, mostly from Dollar Tree. All of this from Dollar Tree. The only thing not from Dollar Tree was the numbers and the actual wreath themselves, and they were both. Wreath itself was only $3, numbers were 50 cents each from Joann. And that is the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.